The BRICS Programme commenced in 2019 to reduce the vulnerability of its beneficiary states. What was the vision of the European Union for implementing a project like this with CDEMA?
Let's start from the beginning. We had Irma and Maria affecting the entire region, and I think from the European Union it was important to be able to respond with a solid program involving several countries, including non-CARICOM countries such as Dominican Republic, with different programs who can respond to the gaps that were evidenced due to Irma and Maria.
13 actions across 16 countries, including operational readiness and multi-hazard early warning. Why were these specific actions chosen for the region?
It's all linked with what we saw was not functioning optimally during Irma and Maria. So these actions were defined by CDEMA with the countries on what was needed at the time of these two major hurricanes in the region, and how can we better prepare for the next one coming and for any crisis that would occur in the region.
How is the BRICS Programme supporting states with the integration of comprehensive disaster management at all levels, and how have the interventions made contributed to the desired impact?
I think, yes, we have advanced very much over the past years into integrating CDM in key sectors, which is the right approach in terms of how we can do a change in terms of, for example, critical infrastructure such as water, housing, etc., and how we can then make these sectors better prepared. The audits that were made through the program, they were important, and they are important because that's a process that is approved by the region in terms of how to measure, how to be accountable for what we do. So we supported this, and this helped us to have a baseline on where we are and what still needs to be done. Then the country work programs, after the audit, we have the country work programs, and how this can be translated, how these challenges still existing can be translated in concrete actions that need to be done in a certain amount of time. So I think the program really helped with that. Then we have also, the raising awareness on tsunami that has been done during the course of the projects, and we cannot perhaps see the impact this has been giving until now, because fortunately we didn't have big events, but if there are, I suppose that we would see how prepared the region is for these events. The project started, and then we had the COVID crisis interrupting the implementation of the program, so we had to face crises. Meanwhile, we were preparing for the next ones, and we were not expecting that. So I would say there's still a lot to be done, more than anything in practical response to the country needs in terms of better preparedness for the future in a multi-hazard scenario.
One notable achievement of the program so far is the high-frequency radio training and upgrade, providing critical telecommunication support. What is the expected impact for the beneficiary states?
We could see, unfortunately, with Hurricane Beryl recently, how telecommunication were important at the moment of the disaster, before, during, and after. And so this is a practical issue where we could make the difference with equipment and with specific training oriented to the people. So the desired impact, in fact, is that countries are equipped but also prepared for maintaining communication at all stages and be able to communicate the needs, but also to organize the response as fast as possible to provide support and assistance to the most vulnerable and affected people.
The Country Directed Fund remains a key puzzle piece, the backbone even to the entire program. Why is this specific action significant for the European Union?
Well, you touch a subject that is very close to my heart, because I've been in the region for 20 years, and I remember when we discussed this program, we were thinking about how can we help the countries to have the needed resources to implement whatever their priority is. And sometimes we found that there was not sufficient resources allocated for what they wanted to do. So this is the principle of the country-directed funds. And what we have tried and are still trying with the program is to really have a practical way of supporting them as soon as we can with responding to their priorities. I remember very well one of the participating states telling me, look, I have this situation in a school where I needed to be retrofitted because this is critical for the country, and let's work on this. And this country-directed fund can respond to that, can really, if well used and simplified in their use, we can really make the difference with what the country needs at that moment. So now we have several programs that are being approved, and the next 2 years or 1.5 years will be focused on really implementing these programs, which we hope will make the difference in the countries. And I want to mention that we are several international partners collaborating with CDEMA, and we can have a name, different names, but at the end of the day, yesterday night we were saying we are all here for the same purpose. And I think that by combining the different forces of these programs, we have been able together to make the difference. It's not only about the European Union, but it's about also all the other support that is there by traditional donors, but also by other non-traditional partners, together under the leadership of CDEMA and the participating countries that help us to really have a guidance on what has to be done and how we can contribute to this.
Okay, thank you so much, Virginie, for your time.
No, thanks to you, Crystal, and the team, because I have to tell you, I have to commend you for the work you've done in this conference, but also in general. I'm telling you why visibilizing what has been done and what has been done is part of the programs. It's part on how we are being accountable with the countries we are supporting. It's part of inspiring people on getting on the road with us on this journey, and it's also about motivating to continue the work in the region, in this beautiful and wonderful region we are in. Thank you.